Here we are at the heart of the University of London in the Senate House, where we're holding this year's Stoicon. Our overall aim is to present the ancient philosophy of Stoicism in a way that can make it accessible to a broad public and provide a framework, a reflective framework for people to shape their lives, focus their aspirations, to deal with difficulties and challenges they have, and to promote a sense of well-being. The people who work together in this way are academics, teachers and writers on philosophy, and psychotherapists.
Thank you all very much for coming. We've more or less filled the room, which is fantastic. We're back in London.
Knowing a lot about Stoicism is quite useful, but not nearly as useful as the practice. Which of the strengths do you think Stoicism would be most strongly associated? Self-control, yeah, I just said that as well. Any others? Perspective, absolutely, I can see why you'd say that. Any others? Gratitude, yes, absolutely. Was none of those. And the answer was zest. Tigger, me on a good day.
I'm stunned and very excited to see so many people interested in Stoicism gathered here today.
We have used in ancient times Stoicism for personal endeavours and personal development. How to deal with anger, how to get over death of a loved one, how to envision one's own death. Stoicism and sustainability. What has sustainability got to do with any of that? And this is a question of injustice, which is the opposite of what? Justice. And if we don't tell this man to stop, we are cowards, and that is the opposite of courage. And if we are not sure how to stop this individual from doing that, then we are in ignorance. So the only way to occupy that safe space is through the virtues, because the opposite is the vices, and that is not sustainable development by definition, because it leaves nothing for future generations born today.
So real joy is a byproduct of other things. One is ethical conduct, the other is insight and understanding, and especially in Buddhism is a byproduct of meditative states.
The talk about the sustainability, because I will never combine them together, I will never put them together on the same level. So for me it was a huge discovery, yes.
With talks I liked this morning, one of them in particular, sustainability, Stoicism and sustainability, because I thought, what? You know, and it's sort of, I found that, first of all, confusing to connect the two, but then he made it very, very clear talk. And my eldest son, who's an environmental scientist, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I wish he was here. For myself, the whole lot was great, especially also the Buddhism connection, the talk, are very, very interesting.
I think the one that's really inspired me is the sustainability, because it gives you that extra. Stoicism to me has always been about myself, not necessarily about the wider world. A bit improving myself, but actually that's given me a bit of a different perspective on it. Everything I've done up to now has been very much on my own and through the web, through modernstoicism.com and things like that. But actually coming here and talking to other people who are going through the same thing, it's good.
My reaction to the last talk about Buddhism and Stoicism was really intriguing. So as a Sikh and someone who meditates, I found this concept of balancing equanimity and compassion very interesting, because we're taught to be detached while still having love for the world. And that for me is our way of dealing with those two kind of, you could say, opposing kind of forces. So I find that a very interesting reflection.
I got inspired by a quote by Epictetus, which is that men are not disturbed by things, but by the view of which they take of them. So I really got inspired by changing our perspective on our outlook of how events really have an influence on us. it really enables you to walk around and get different perspectives. That was the inspiration. It's made out of 24 pieces which are identical, but just the way they're put together make them look very complicated. So I think that also plays on the role that if we deconstruct certain things, events on our life, they actually are quite simple, but just overall our first impressions can be quite even scary. But it's about this Stoic lens to really deconstruct and see things for what they truly are.
It's my first Stoicon. I'm very delighted to be here. My first encounter, therefore, with people who are really interested in trying to live a real Stoic life day to day. And reading the articles in Stoicism Today, really inspirational, and so it's really tremendously interesting for me to encounter this.
It's very nice. I came from Norway, and I'm so happy to see that this is not a small community, but a big community and a very vibrant one as well. It's very motivating and yeah, good to see.
I think it's really useful in what I have to teach, giving the students some way of managing their emotions, of seeing what they do influence and what they don't, because they really struggle. It's been incredible how many students have come through this year that have got anxiety, loads of support needs, and I think this is a really useful tool for them to be able to manage themselves and see the world a little differently and find a way of managing the anxiety.
I got the Daily Stoic Journal. I got that at the beginning of the year. So I've been doing the readings and I've been doing the meditations every day, and I found that just really helpful, just going through those exercises, reflecting on my day, reflecting on the way that I act, what's important to me, and it's given me some clarity on my own life and actually shown me how happy I am. I didn't realise until I started looking at it.